Hey, what's going on? So, Mike Dean here from the Dean's List. Gonna do the final beer that I got from Brick and Mortar Brewing Company. This is his award-winning For the Love of Peat, and he asked me to let it warm up and let it sit out. So it's been sitting out for a couple of hours now. So still a little colder than room temperature, but I should get the full effect. So, Chris, again, thanks for the send. I have about 2/3 of your beer bottled up. I'm waiting for another batch of beer that I'm doing before I send that out to you, and should be a pretty good variety. Probably going to have 3 of my local homebrews, and probably going to throw in some locals here from Virginia as well. So a little bit about For the Love of Peat, since he gave me a handy dandy little information sheet. For the Love of Peat is a Scotch Ale. Let's see, it says brewed with pale malt, roasted barley, peated malt, which is cool. I don't think I've ever even seen peated malt. It might be in my homebrew store. I'm sure if I asked the guy, it's back there. And caramel 120. Haven't had a whole lot of stuff with 120. I think caramel 145 was in the Scotch Ale that I did for the recipe that SJ gave me. He had Fuggle hops. He used Y yeast 1728. And let's see, this is the beer he won the contest with back in January. It was brewed by the Wisconsin Brewing Company in May, and then sold to bars and restaurants around the Dane and Rock County area. It's pretty cool. The bottle I'm drinking was brewed actually on their one British barrel system at Wisconsin Brewing Company. That is freaking cool. And I'm assuming you were there to help brew it. It'd be cool to see some video of that if you haven't posted it. You know, I'm just saying, you got a channel now. Let's see some of that cool video. Hopefully you got some. I would certainly get some video. They took your original recipe that won the preliminary round, configured it for the system. You went to some Barrel and Cheese Festival in Madison, and wow. So yeah, you got a lot of accolades on this. I know you're very, very excited about it. It's got some really cool artwork on the label. I'm brewing a collab beer right now, so this is a good, background noise. All right, some very slight hiss. Let's get a good pour. Nice color, wow. And I would expect that. The head has dissipated. It wasn't a whole lot of head, but one thing I did notice about it, it was super clear, which, they were doing it on a commercial system. Doesn't surprise me. I imagine they filtered it. This has a really lovely red color in it. I'm trying to see what the ABV is on this. I don't have my glasses, so I can't really see. Oh, it looks like 7.5 or 7.3. 7.5%. And anyway, so that's the appearance. Appearance is it's a beautiful mahogany color. Let me see if I can. You've got to see this. Got to see this held up to the light so you can see how pretty it is. Look at that. Look at that color on that thing. Is that nice? Okay, back here. All right, let's go ahead and get a nose. Yeah, got a classic Scotch Ale yeast. It's got Fuggle hops. You may or may not smell. The hops really take a back seat, so you don't normally notice the kind of floral that you normally get with the Fuggles, like in a brown ale or something like that. But you get that classic Scotch Ale yeast. So let's go ahead and have a sip. That's really nice. All right. This may sound weird, but I'm getting a slight cherry note in this. Chris, I don't know if that was, part of the intent. Maybe I'm just imagining it, but yeah, something about it gives me, you get the normal, toffee caramel, Scotch Ale yeast character, but I'm also getting on the finish a slight kind of maraschino cherries, which is kind of cool. Yeah. So cool. It's so cool tasting a homebrew recipe on a commercial system. Now I see why you had me let this kind of warm up a little bit. It certainly, you know, brings out. I mean, I didn't taste it when it was cold. I mean, this thing is about perfect temperature now. I'd say the carbonation, mouthfeel wise, the carbonation is on the light side. It could actually maybe use just a tad more carbonation. But I mean, it's very, very easy drinking like it is. I get the peat too, that peat malt. If it's anything like I had some Scotch one time from Islay. Is that right, Islay? And they used peat moss in it, and I'm getting that same kind of peat moss character. If that's what peat malt's supposed to do, maybe it's my imagination because I've read it, but you know, I'm certainly getting that. I can't get over how much this looks like. It looks like Coca-Cola. Looks like Coca-Cola. Absolutely gorgeous beer. If I had to critique this thing at all, the only thing I would say is, you know, maybe they could have carved it a little bit more, but this is a freaking awesome beer. Well, I'm going to get back to my brew. Chris, thank you for the 3 beers you sent. Like I said, I have another probably... I don't know how long it takes to ferment and condition. I would say another 2 weeks before I have the beers ready for me to package up and send to you. I certainly want to get this this beer that I'm fermenting right now. I want to get that into your package as well, and I think you'll appreciate the weight. It's going to be a Vienna lager, and it's going to be really nice. So anyway, hey, that's it for the review of Chris's beer. If you haven't checked out his channel, I'll put a link down on the bottom. It's Brick and Mortar Brewing Company. Guy's name is Chris. He's kind of getting into the scene now. He's got a really cool channel, and like I said, he's very professional. He's even got a freaking you know, you go to these beer festivals and people have the little tents and they have their own little kegerator kind of setup with multi-taps. He's got one of those. I mean, he literally could go set up, and you would think he was a professional brewery with the professional setup he has. I don't know how much dime he spent on it, but it's really, really impressive. So I should get one for the Dean's List. Matter of fact, let me know how you ordered that stuff, and maybe I'll have to do that for my block party we have. Anyway, cheers. Thanks, Chris. Bye.